Hi, my name is Courtney, and welcome to today's episode of Live in La Vida CoCo. Today we're going to be talking about college. I'm just going to kind of give you how I started in high school and then kind of my college journey and just tell you, some tips and tricks I found. I had a very unconventional college experience. It started off very traditional and then it kind of ended non-traditional. So I'm just going to kind of take you through just kind of my thoughts and my advice on people starting college, the traditional 18, or people starting later in life. So let's get some wine and get into it. Just a forewarning, my dog might peek here and there. Her name is Tamika Marie. She's the cutest. Got my red wine. Let's start with high school. So I went to high school in Southern California. That's where I was pretty much raised, and I hated high school. Well, I didn't hate high school. I had so much fun. I hated school. So I treated school as like a social activity. I cheered, so I was always at games and, always went to parties, and I just could not be bothered with homework and just school things. It was never for me from the beginning. I don't know if that's because I'm a Sagittarius, but my little sister is also Sagittarius and she loves school, so it's probably just my personality. And until senior year, I didn't really have friends outside of cheerleaders, so that was just a little different. And then summer before senior year, I met these girls. We were the quint, and because there's 5 of us, and then we hung out with this group of boys, and they were the pack, kind of based off of the pack, the rap group, and we just would all hang out, party, whatever. Senior year was the best year of my life. I'm gonna get into some schools I applied to. Because, while I hate school, I'm an intelligent person and I like to learn. I just don't like the structure of school. So I was like, I need to go to a good school. So I applied to LMU, USC, Poly Pomona, Laverne, Redlands, Colorado College, Spelman, and Long Beach State. I only think I got into Pomona, Laverne, Redlands, I think Long Beach State. I don't even know if I really applied there, to be honest. This was like over 10 years ago, so I don't really remember. Colorado College and Spelman, I was waitlisted, but I didn't want to go to too big of a school, so I chose to go to University of Laverne, which it was a small school. The student to teacher ratio was great for me. What I realized later, I wanted the big school for the social aspects and athletics, but I wanted the classrooms to be small. So that's why I chose Laverne, and it had a gorgeous campus, like absolutely beautiful. And going into college, my major was television production. I wanted to produce TV shows and also maybe fashion shows, but really I wanted to produce TV shows, and that's all I wanted to do. So they had a good program for that. So so that was kind of how I ended up choosing my school, and it's a private university, and it's a great school. Wasn't for me, but it is a really good school. All my professors were amazing and super smart. So that's a pro if you're ever thinking about going to University of Laverne. Small school, Laverne's a cute town, perfect for you. Not so much for me, but we'll get into the pros and cons of Laverne. Okay, so now we're gonna go over the pros and cons of the University of Laverne. Pros, like I said, amazing staff, amazing advisors, great classes. Campus was very safe. I never once ever felt unsafe. It was close to home and my high school friends. It's also kind of a con. It had a really great program for television production. My dorm was amazing. So I had a roommate, and she was like never there on the weekends because she was always with her boyfriend, and she lived close, so she went home. And so I made lots of friends. This is where I decided, or I realized I became a frat star. I hung out with lots of frat boys, just because they like to party, I like to party. We all shared a floor. So the dorm was great. We had two other dorms. There was an all-girls dorm and then another co-ed dorm. I swear to God, the co-ed dorm was like going to the fucking projects. It was so fucking ghetto, but they had a lot of fun there. It was just old because it's a really old town. And then the girls' dorm, everyone said it was haunted, and I don't live with a bunch of girls. I was a cheerleader my whole life. I just wanted to see other sexes. Well, I guess only one other sex. And then it had great amenities at that school, and I had, like I said, way too much fun in the dorms. So cons was, it was close to home, close to my high school friends. So for the longest, I didn't really meet other friends because my best friend lived 10 minutes from me. If you weren't a sorority girl, then the other girls didn't really fuck with you. So I had 2 girlfriends. So one I went to high school with and cheered with, so we had prior history. The other one, she was a commuter and super chill, like we're still like Instagram friends to this day. Super chill, so me and her like clicked. My high school parties were better than the college parties. Like I said, I partied, but it was just like more like kickbacks at Laverne. So yeah, my high school parties were way better. And it felt like boarding school. So that's also another kind of thing where it was like, I went to a pretty large high school, so I think it was like 2,000 kids. And I'm not sure how many students go to Laverne, but it was just very small, and I just literally felt like I was back in high school, but at boarding school. So it wasn't really my jam. Like, I don't like to be a big fish in a small sea, and that's how I felt. Got the analogy? Big fish, small pond. Yes, big fish, small pond. That's how I felt. So I'm gonna get into why I left Laverne after a year and a half. I left Laverne when I was 20. I think I was going on 21, and I had like a midlife crisis. It was really weird. I realized, working in TV was not for me. I'd have been amazing at it, but I wouldn't love it. And why work TV hours to not love something like that? It's kind of stupid. I wasn't at a party school, so my social life, I felt kind of depressed sometimes when I would see all my friends from high school that went to these big schools just like go to these like ragers. And like I said, I am a party girl at heart. I will always be a party girl. I don't care if I get married. I don't care if I have 1,000 kids. I'm a party girl. So I just love socializing. So after a full year, so I lived on campus a full year, then I decided to move home. After my first semester, I was just spending so much money and I just wasn't happy. So I told my parents, like, I need to go to a JC. Like, I don't want to be at the school anymore. Of course, my parents are amazing and they agreed. We're like, okay, just find a JC then. So they said, you have to go to college, but you don't have to go to this one if you don't like it. So I decided on Fullerton College, which was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I loved it. I cannot say just better things about it. So I was gonna go to either Mount Sac, Fullerton College, or Cypress. And I got all my classes first at Fullerton College, so it was perfect. And I didn't want to go to Mount Sac because all my friends went to Mount Sac, and it would have just been like high school 2.0, which there's nothing wrong with that, but for me, I needed to learn to like be on my own and not just with my high school friends. Because once I make friends, I like latch onto you like a freaking leech. Like, I do not let go. So I needed to like grow and like still have my high school friends, but grow and learn to like make new friends. I went to Fullerton College and I loved it. I met this teacher, Stephanie Piazza. She is amazing. If she still works there and you guys go to Fullerton College, please take a class from her. She truly cares about her students, and she was amazing. So I tutored for her as like a job. This whole time I had been working at Victoria's Secret, just like as a paint girl. So since I didn't have it's a JC, there wasn't really many parties, everyone commutes. My best friend, Kim, she went to Cal State Long Beach. I was always partying at Long Beach. I truly came into my frat star self at Cal State Long Beach. And I've met some people that, I'm still friends with to this day, some of my best friends. I partied my life away Thursday through Sunday pretty much at Long Beach State, and everyone thought I went there, but I didn't. This is where I started to fail in life. I realized that in college, if you failed a class, you just retake it. That was the worst thing I could have ever realized, because I was like, fuck it, I'll retake it. And it's like, do not do that. It's literally so stupid, such a waste of time and money, and it's just irresponsible. But I was like 20 at this time, whatever. I'm still at Fullerton College. I'm starting to do pretty good with my studies and stuff. I'm really focusing on transferring to my 4-year. I had a little bit of depression because all my friends were graduating college. already, and here I was at a JC. I wasn't even close to getting my bachelor's. So this is where shit got weird for me. All my friends were getting ready to graduate college, and I still was at a JC. And I was just kind of like, fuck. Like, I got so down on myself because I'm like, they're no smarter than you. Well, some of my friends are. But the point I'm making is, it's like, I'm no dummy. I can graduate college too. Like, why aren't I graduating college? Why don't I have this? I don't even really care about degrees, but I was just kind of like, if all my friends can get a degree, I'm gonna get a fucking degree too. At this time, I had gotten really skinny because I was just working out a lot, working a lot, going to school. I was depressed, whatever. Oh, I think I went to this place called Ketchup. So I love a fancy dinner. I'm like a wannabe it girl, you know, like that's kind of my vibe. And so I believe I was at Ketchup with my mom, and I was picking everything apart. Like, I was like, they need to clean that. You shouldn't have white things. This is dirty. And I realized I want to work in restaurants. Like, I love food. And at the time, my older sister's a chef. So I thought the only people who, you know, worked in restaurants were all like chefs, which was so stupid. But anyways, went on the Google and I found out I can do hospitality management. And I was like, cheers, that's me. The day I decided to do hospitality management was the day that my life just elevated. I found my purpose in life, and I just didn't feel like someone that was just like floating through life. Like, just, I always say I'm here for a good time, not a long time. I stand by that to the day I die. Like, put that on my tombstone. I'm serious. I was like, I need a purpose. And I was also, my downfall is I love to work. Like, my parents never made me work until the very end of my senior year, once all of our major sports were done for cheering. The moment I started working, I realized this is my jam, because you work for so many hours and then you get a paycheck. It's like at school, you work all these hours on a project, on a paper, whatever, and you get a grade. I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with a B? Like, I can't go buy shoes with a B, you know? I learned how to cook, and I just was like, food's for me. That's what I need to do. So I looked into some schools to transfer. It was Long Beach State, Poly Pomona, some southern schools my parents didn't want me to go to because, you know, racism, like LSU and Kentucky, University of Kentucky. So funny thing is, I started loving Kentucky basketball, the college basketball team, because I was like, I gotta learn the culture. LSU is my second college football team because I was like, I gotta learn the culture. But my parents, they don't really tell us what to do, but they really didn't want me going to a school where there would be racism. And at this time, you know, Obama was president, so, you know, not as bad as it is now, but it was kind of, those things were brewing. Obviously, racism has been as old as dirt. So that is the schools I was like, what am I gonna transfer to? So let's see which one I decided to go with. I forgot, I also was looking into San Diego State. I was like, oh, let me see if I want to move like somewhere, yeah, else in California. I had dated this guy, and he had lived in San Diego, and then my sister was living in San Diego, so I was very familiar with San Diego, and I really like San Diego. Like, I love it. But the school just wasn't for me. I had visited in high school, and I just don't like the campus. It's like kind of in the middle of the ghetto. It's too far out. It's just not for me. But go, I don't even know what they're, Devils? No. Shit, but San Diego State. I don't even know what they're, it doesn't matter. Anyways, I had gotten to, I think I only applied to Long Beach and Pomona. I think I was like, that's it. Like, one of you guys gotta take me. I got into both, and I was 24 years old at the time. I just turned 24. I was like 2 months after turning 24, and I had gotten into Poly Pomona. That was my dream school after I went and visited with my dad, and I was just like, this is the school for me. I love the program. It was just like, it just felt like a fit. It was like love at first sight. It was just chef's kisses, all the puns intended. So I ended up enrolling into Poly Pomona, and I became a Bronco. Woo, go Broncos! So, at Cal Poly, in my major, I knew absolutely no one, and everyone was so much younger than me. Like, I would say maybe like 20% of the people are a little on the older side. Some were even older than me, being 24 at the time, but a lot were like your traditional college age students, like 18 years old, 20 years old. Here I was 24. I've lived a life, okay? Like, I mean, I grew up in the burbs, you know, my parents paid for my college. So not like that way, but like I've lived some life at this point, you know? So I was just like, I felt kind of old at 24, not old, but like older than like a 19-year-old. And just the maturity levels just aren't there. So that was a bit of a learning curve for me, but I did find a club and I made some really great friends and I loved it. So the club I joined, I think I was only in one club, was NSMH. I can never say the acronyms, but it's the National Society of Minorities in Hospitality. And if you are a minority, and it's open to non-minorities as well, but if you're a minority and you want something to help you, and there's so many chapters, a lot of them are on the East Coast because that's where it started. It's a great organization and I really want to get back into it as an alumni, but it's really great. And I found a really great internship from it. I found great friends. I learned, just so much being in this club, and I learned so much being at Cal Poly. So in NSMH, I was membership chair. So I pretty much was just recruiting members, talking to people, doing different member activities, kind of like social planning. We did 2 conferences a year. So there was a regional, was our national conference, which changed all over, but the one time I did go, don't know why I didn't go my senior year. Anyways, so we went to Pittsburgh. If you're ever in Pittsburgh, go to Primanti Brothers. Bomb. Just Google it, okay? Bomb. Because I could talk about that for hours. Let's see. Speaking of, this is where I learned my love for wine. If you go to Cal Poly Pomona, you don't have to be a hospitality student, but I took wine, beer, and spirits with Marjorie. Amazing. That's where I also did my first level of my sommelier. If you don't know, that's just pretty much a wine expert. I passed. It was a 3-day class. Well, really 2.5, because on the third day you have half class, half exam. I passed. I was so fucking proud of myself. It was like I felt as if I passed the bar. Well, I guess if you do level 2, that's more like it, because you'll be an actual sommelier. You have 2 years to take your level 2. I let that time pass because I was working full time at a very draining job. Loved that class. I also took the beer and culture. That class was amazing. And you pretty much learn about beer, wine, spirits, and eat charcuterie. It's an amazing class. Teachers are amazing. I learned that the hospitality industry is a fucking pissing contest. So if you want to get into hospitality, please be comfortable with bragging about yourself in your internships, your jobs, because that's all the fuck it is. It's a pissing contest. It's so annoying. Thanks to my mom and my stepdad who are in the Army, go Army. I got to use their 9/11 GI Bill, so my last 2 years of school were 100% completely paid for. Actually, one semester my dad and stepmom helped me pay for because I ran out of months. So the 9/11 GI Bill is fucking amazing. Me and all my sisters used it, and I have never been more grateful for the Army. I've always been grateful because I've always had great, health and dental and eye vision, all that stuff. But the Army took my mom away from me a lot when I was in high school, but it paid me back by paying for my school. I still have student debt from Laverne, but that's a whole nother story. So at the time I had an internship working for free. I could talk about that in another video. Anyways, it was for 3 months. I was working as a server and at Victoria's Secret. still at the time, so I had 3 jobs. And I had ended up quitting the catering company because I got hired on full time. But it was a full-time job. It was very demanding. I just couldn't. I was like in class writing emails, and I was an assistant catering manager. So it was a lot. And so I quit that job. I started working at Starbucks, and that's just, what I did. And Starbucks was one of my most fun jobs. I loved it so much. I want to go back and work there. I fucking love Starbucks. It's a good place to work for. And I worked with a really chill crew of people. So it was amazing. I had a lot of fun. My last job in college, like part-time job, was actually at Nordstrom's Cafe, their e-bar as a barista. That's a whole nother story why I left Starbucks and went there. So, Cal Poly was great. I graduated in 2 years, and it was an accomplishment, let me tell you. When I started Cal Poly, I said, I don't care what I have to do, who I have to sleep with, joking, but I'm graduating in 2 years. So one summer, I actually gave up. I got 2 internships. One was for Legends Hospitality, working at Angel Stadium. The other one was at Papa's Hospitality, working in Houston. So I really wanted to work in Houston. I loved it. They flew us all out and everything as part of an interview. It was top notch, paid for everything. But I was like, I have to do summer school in order to graduate in 4 years, or 2 years. So I turned them down. I took the one at Angels, which was, I can talk a whole nother video about working at Angel Stadium. It was an amazing experience. I'm a true blue Dodger fan. I bleed blue. Those are my boys. But Angel Stadium was really great to work for. The company I worked for was really great to work for. So I ended up doing all my summer school classes online. So I still could have went to Texas, but whatever. And so I ended up graduating in 2 years in 2016, and I have never been more proud of myself. I literally almost cried at graduation. I also was a little drunk because I went to bottomless mimosa brunch before, because my graduation was at 8:30 at night. And I don't know how I was still drunk, but I'll insert some pictures here if I can find them. Yeah, I've just never been more proud of myself. I was on this college journey for 8 fucking years. 8 years. I had no husband, no kid, no nothing. There was what the fuck did it take me so long? I had 2 dogs. What the fuck? But honestly, saying all that to say, it doesn't matter how long it takes you. It doesn't matter what hoops you have to go through. If you really want to go to college and it's something that's very important to you, then fucking do it. If it's going to take you 10 years to finish because you have to work, or you're a mom, or you got kids, or a husband, whatever, fucking just do it. Who cares how long it takes you? Because at the end of the day, the fact that I have a degree, but it took me 8 years, nobody really knows that but me and my best friends and family. So it really doesn't matter how long it takes you. If it's something you want to do, just do it. You can do it. Especially if you have a good support system behind you. Take advantage of it. It was so hard for me to realize to not put so much effort into these little part-time jobs I had that weren't my real passion in life, weren't something that I didn't want to do until I retire. It's 65 or whatever you retire at. I was like, you know what, stop putting so much effort into a job that's not going to eventually push you forward in your career. And even since I was I think 9 or 10, I didn't want to start getting married and having a kid till I was 23. It took me a long time to even want that, and even today, it's like, well, I guess if I really meet the right person. But I've always known since I was a little girl, I want to be a career woman. Like, I want to have a career. I want to be independent. Like, that's just always what I've wanted. So, you know, I was just like, I don't know where I was going with that. So, I'm not even drunk. So because I've always wanted to be so career driven, I knew I could not focus on like working at Victoria's Secret. And I would like stay extra and miss class sometimes because they would ask me to. And I genuinely loved my job. I ended up doing window displays. And the moment they passed me up for a promotion that I kind of already had, long story, I just said, you know what? Fuck them. Not necessarily the Limited as a company, but fuck that store. You passed me up for a job I've been doing and I am amazing at. I could have made that my career. I was like, nope. And I ended up quitting. Black Friday was my last day because I was like, nope. And I was already making way more money as a server. So it's like, don't get so caught up in these little jobs making quick, easy, fast money. You know, like, even if you decide college isn't your jam, like, don't focus on the quick, easy money. Focus on what's going to propel you in the long run for the big money, like that rich bitch shit. So like I said, very, very, very proud of myself. Me and my sister actually ended up graduating at the same time. She graduated in December, and then 6 months later in June, I graduated. Now we're gonna kind of get into like what I regret about my college experience. I don't like to really say I have regrets, but things like I could have done differently. So we'll get into that. Take a little wine break. Here's what I regret: not leaving to go out of state or just further like Northern California. Getting my degree just because everyone else was getting it. I hate school, but I am so grateful I did it, because it really taught me other things. And, you know, it's not for me, but if I ever have kids, I will force them to go to at least 1 year of college and live in a dorm just to see if they like it. If after 1 year they don't like it, they can, you know, figure something else out. We'll cross that bridge when I have these imaginary, you know, teenagers. Not realizing that I am a big school girl. I think if I would have just went to like Poly Pomona first or Long Beach first, I think I would have had a different route. But I am happy for the route I have because it has taught me so much, and I would not be as hard of a worker I am. I wouldn't have learned the things I learned. I wouldn't be such a wino, you know? It's like it's just that my path I needed to take, that was the plan God had for me. Happy I lived in the dorm for at least a year. It really, really helped shape me. Like, so funny. I'm sure I have a picture somewhere, but my closet, the bottom was like a little mini bar. It was really cute. I told you, I'm wild. I finished school even though I really didn't want to, because when I put my mind to something, like, I'm gonna do it. Like, I'm gonna finish it. It might not be on the time everyone else thought, but I'm gonna get shit done. I'm happy that my family was very supportive, and, you know, parents really know their children, and my parents let me just kind of float and figure it out on my own while being there to listen, to support, and guide me, but not guide me to the point where I was living their path they wanted for me. Yeah, I talked about how my sister graduated before me, and then my older sister also graduated. We all kind of graduated at the same time, like within a year of each other. Yeah, you know, I've always been like, I'm gonna do shit on my time when I want to, and, you know, I did. So I'm very proud of myself. And I needed to party hard in college. I'm happy I partied hard in college. But I started partying in like late high school, really senior year. I don't suggest that. I don't think I should have been doing that. I was too young to be drinking, but I did it. The only good thing about it, it did prepare me for drinking in college. If I have a child, I will be pissed if they drink in high school, but I will understand, because, you know, that's unfortunately life. But I do not think high schoolers should be having sex or drinking or having serious relationships. But that's a whole nother story. But I'm happy that I did get to party in college. I'm happy that, I dated boys and I just had fun. It was fun. There were times where I cried and I was, didn't think I was gonna make it. I didn't think I was gonna finish. I was just frustrated. But, I finished and I'm proud of myself. So cheers to anyone else who's finished college, whether you did it in 4 years, whether you did it in 20 years. It doesn't matter. You finished. I'm proud of you. You should be even more proud of you. And cheers to college. Thank you so much, you guys, for, watching this video and for, just supporting me. Please like, subscribe, share with the homies, and, any questions you guys have or just any comments, anything, put them below in the comments and I will get back to you guys. Thank you so much for watching as always, and let's drink some wine. We finished college, or we're still in college.